So we've written methods that can take input from the user. We've written methods that return output to the user or to main or to some method. Now let's just write, the full shebang. So this method is going to take input. It's also going to return output. And we're going to modify our backwards method that we've been working with to do both of these things. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open that program again. And here's my backwards method. Right now, backwards method takes input, which is a supplied input string that the user put in and sent up to the backwards method. And then it does a whole bunch of work. But then I see here that when it's done working, or when it's done putting it in backwards form, which is its job, it just prints it out. Well, I don't want to print it out here because it's kind of frowned upon for some reason to print things out. Well, it's frowned upon to print things out from a method because people usually want a little more control over the output than that. So we're just going to return the output. So what output do we want to return? I see my reversed variable here is the thing that's storing the reversed version of the word that got sent up here. So I want to return that reversed version. So I'm just going to say return reversed. And now that reversed version will get returned to whoever made the call. Do you remember when we made the call to backwards? That was down here in main. So I'm going to go down to main. And here it is. I made the call. But now something got returned. So if I run it now, nothing's going to happen because I'm not printing it out. There's no information for the user. So if I want to actually see that worked, I have two choices. One, I could create a variable and I could store it in a variable and then I could print it out. The message dialog box or however you want to do that. And I could even say user word backwards is, and then give them their version of that because now I'm storing whatever got returned from that method. So that's one way to do it. That'll work fine. The other way that I could have done that is it's perfectly acceptable to take and just put into the message dialog box. Let me just put these words in here. Instead of storing, if you didn't want to store that in a variable, you could also just make the call right here. So call on backwards with the user word and put that, you can put that call to the method right in a message dialog box. It's perfectly fine. Either way, you get the same effect, and that is when you run it. Oops, oh, I forgot to change. This is no longer void because it's got a return type. So the return type is string. It's returning a string. So remember at the beginning of this video segment, I had mentioned to you the general syntax is that it goes public static return type. Well, we just changed the return type. Well, I forgot to do that. And it's no longer void. Now it's actually returning a string. So I had to put string there. Okay, so when I run it now, it will ask me for the original word. And I will type something in. And then it will print that message out. But that message is being printed out right here in main. So that call to it happened right in the message dialog box. And now you know everything you need to know about methods. Good luck.